This is a collector on the corner. I was going to kind of do a little short video today on stuff I bought the last couple, 3 auctions I've been to. I hadn't did auction video on it. Didn't buy much. You did them auctions, just a few dollars worth here and there. But anyway, to start off with, y'all might remember the video where I showed that lineman's wrench right here. It's about 100 years old. Well, that same $3 pile of tools, I got all these little old end wrenches. A big lot of them are made by the Drop Forge Tool Company in Cleveland, Ohio. They're pretty old. Got this old Matic, I guess you'd call it, hoe or whatever. Got that. Well, I got this. I don't know if it's Billy Goat horns or what it is, but it's some kind of tillage tool. It's got a D-shaped hole for the handle. That's odd to see a D-shaped hole for the handle there. Got that.
That's D for Debbie.
Give $3 for that whole pile.
Uh-huh.
Then I bought this right here. And what that is, you put tubing in there and bend them. And it keeps from kinking. There's three different sizes of that. And this is an old antique tool like they used on them old flatheads. And you stuck that down where the valves was. And this cutter, it probably needs resharpened. That cutter would cut down the valve guides to give you more clearance inside there, on the end there.
Uh-huh.
I think I give $3 for that auctioneer. He'd start stuff at 2 and start asking 3, and if he didn't get 3, he'd keep adding to the pile till somebody bought it. I had to give $10 for this. That's oil in there.
Uh-huh.
It was raining that day, pouring down rain.
Mm-hmm.
But what them are?
What are they, honey?
Them's for cutting the valve seats out. There's different ones these collars.
You're going to have to quit wiggling.
There's different ones these collars. See, there's 2 different sizes on it. That goes in your valve guide, and that there spins.
Yep.
And cuts that seat. It's got 2 different sides on it. But I give $10 for that.
Well,
there's parts missing out
cool.
of it. But I do have another quick way valve grinding deal that uses rocks and that.
Uh-huh.
And there's one of the adjustment tools that spins them. Mm-hmm. And there's your adjustment tool for setting your height.
You're just too fast.
For $3, I got this little plastic deal full of. There's a lot of little grinding rocks in there, a lot of little carbide burrs. Some of them still got the cosmoline on it. And all that stuff got kind of wet because it was pouring down rain at that auction, and most people left. There's fools like me that stayed to buy the goodies.
Yeah, I can see the goodies.
And along with them rocks, I got these 2 valve spring compressors. This in here is for overhead valves. And this here's for like flatheads. It lifts up from underneath.
Mm-hmm. Okay, whatever you say, dear.
I don't think I had one like this. I got another one like that right there.
I've seen your big C-clamp.
Okay. For $10, there was a pile. My wife was wanting a leaf rake.
Uh-huh.
So there was 3 leaf rakes in that pile.
Yep.
And here's 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Dino painted that handle red where she could find it. She's got one over the house with a red handle. And this tire was in that $10 pile.
Oh, boy.
I done put a tube in it and mounted it on this rim. It's just the tire is all I got for $10. But also in that $10 pile over there, there's about 14 lawnmower tires for riding lawnmowers for the back and front.
We
don't
need
sizes.
Any lawnmower tires.
But I already had plenty of them, but they're piled up over there. Okay, that's all I bought at that auction.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to auction Saturday.
Yeah.
And it was a hot day. And I bought this disc breaker. It's all took apart in the bed of my truck. And what that is, that's for it's for sea farming. And it attaches on at the front right here with these brackets right here. That attaches up there underneath the belly of the tractor. And the only thing that lifted at the back is what I call an Armstrong lift. That was on the back of this tail wheel. Here's that tail wheel. That tail wheel
Okay.
right there,
Yep.
them weights, each one of them weighs 32 pounds. And there's 8 of them. There's 4 on the other side.
Wow.
So I figured that tail wheel's right close with that shaft and this end there. That's right at 300 pounds. And then this big piece here, that's the plow beam.
Mm-hmm.
I figured that's about 300 pounds. And there wasn't going to be nothing there to load it. So Tuesday, I went over and took my cherry picker hoist and chained it down the bed of this old truck and unbolted that thing and lifted it up and put them heavy pieces in the truck. I couldn't pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
And that plow, it's a disc breaker, 2-bottom.
Uh-huh.
It's got rods that run all the way from that tail wheel
Mm-hmm.
to the front pedestal that
Mm-hmm.
steers the tail wheel as you turn the wheel to guide it around. And here's the disc off of it. And the reason I bought it,
Yeah. What is the reason, darling?
I got another disc breaker that's International Harvester, like right there. You can see that little IH emblem.
Let me see if I can find it. Yep. IH emblem.
And these castings on the end, the blades and all this, exactly the same.
Uh-huh.
But that other one I got come off of a 200 International, and it's a 2-point hitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's one that stabs in from the back. And the bearings is all shot inside there.
Mm-hmm.
And this in here, there's no play.
Oh,
Them
wow.
bearings is real good shape.
That's
So
good.
all that was necessary, me take these 4 big bolts out and
Mhm.
bolt these on that other little 2-point hitch
Mm-hmm.
disc breaker.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking, with that 300 pounds on the back on that tail wheel, even if you had this disc breaker on a C-farm off and tried to lift it with that mid-mount touch control lift,
Uh-huh.
you would just lift the front tire of the tractor off the ground. It wouldn't have stayed down there. This thing weighs so much, sticking way out there on the back there, 6 foot, that wasn't a hell for nothing.
Is this more
at
of it
the
over
same
here?
Sale, I
Oh.
showed these earlier, but I got
Uh-huh.
these 2 spring tooth cultivators that'll go on a Super A or 100. There was a 100 there. I imagine it come off at 100.
Uh-huh.
And with them, I got this.
Uh-huh.
Now, I always know there's a logical explanation for everything, but most time we just ain't got no clue what it is.
It's a doohickey.
Now, why somebody welded a disc blade onto a jab bar? You can tell it's been a jab bar. See the sharp point? And it's bent.
Uh-huh.
But why they welded that blade on there, I haven't got a clue.
It was a
I
umbrella.
ain't even got no way of making a guess what they were trying to do. I don't know.
A top for the Jolly Green Giant.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Hey, now
Okay,
you're
the previous sale,
trying to get me.
I bought another plow. There's part of it. It's a John Deere.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 3-bottom breaker.
Okay.
It,
Looks like a pile of scrap.
but there's a tail wheel for it. See that little like tail wheel? It was
Uh-huh.
a drag type.
Uh-huh.
There's a drawbar right up. It's got that spring hitch in it. Some big
Oh.
springs in the drawbar.
Okie dokie.
And I wasn't going to have no way to load that either, so I unbolted that whole thing.
Did you?
Went up there with big pipe wrenches and oil can. I unbolted it and took it all apart.
So
and
you're
here's-
good at putting puzzles back together.
No. Here's the disc breakers off of it.
Uh-huh.
And that there's wore plumb out.
Wow.
And I give $40 for it.
Wow.
But it had 2 of these here spoke wheels on it
Them tars.
with tires on them. I always thought them's kind of cool.
Yeah,
so
they
I
are
just,
pretty cool.
So I just went ahead and bought it.
Pretty
And
cool
I
tar.
And it had these big tool bars. There was 3 of them
Uh-huh.
hooked to them plows. That's a big, heavy, nice piece of iron.
Yep, it is.
There's the Armstrong left off of it.
Yep.
And there's the part the wheels fit too. When I got home, I cut torch that axle off where the
Yeah.
wheel was. But I don't never plan on putting that back together.
Why
It
not?
I thought I might take this part right here and make a subsoiler. Weld up a 3-point hitch to it, shorten it up a little and cut this end off. Weld it on here where it'd be a lot longer. Make me a subsoiler at least go 3 foot deep in the ground. I believe that end might pull it some. If it don't, you ain't got to bury it as deep.
That's right.
Sometimes 3 foot, all you're going to get. You ain't going to get 3 foot because there's rock down there.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, I got this tire fixed, and I had to put it on this rim because if you look, this tire that I've stuck on this 350 off to one side.
Yeah.
But this is the rim that goes to it. Had an old rotten Maypop tire we talked about blowing up.
Yep.
It fit on there and it'll center.
Okay.
So that's the tire for that.
Okay.
Actually, that tire and rim right there goes on the front of that 300 utility wheel.
Right.
Okay, and Debbie wanted me to tell a bicycle story.
No, I didn't.
This little bicycle right there.
Yep.
I bought that from my oldest son when he was young. Bought a brand new bicycle. And we lived on a gravel road down to the bottom of the hill on a gravel road.
Yep.
And I didn't want to be fixing flats for bicycles. And every time they grade that road, they bust them rocks up and they turn little sharp flint rocks like arrowheads.
Yeah.
And they start in a tire and they just keep going. And I can remember when I was a kid, you couldn't keep your bicycles from having flat tires. So I bought him a bicycle with solid rubber tires.
Yeah.
No flats on that thing. It's blue. It's brand new.
Yeah, it was
Think
blue.
I bought it at Walmart.
Yep.
Don't know what I paid for it.
Yep.
But I bought it. Brought him home. And he'd ride that bicycle. Well, they decided they would, one of them would be on the bicycle and the other one on foot, them two oldest boys. And the one said he could outrun the other one down the hill. The one on the bicycle, which I can beat you on foot. So they're racing down there. And you can't control a bicycle with solid rubber tires at high speed. So he crashed that bicycle. And he didn't much want to ride it anymore, so he let his little younger brother, who's 2 years younger than him, ride it. And he crashed it and had a wreck with it going down that hill. And he looked like somebody beat him up. He was bruised, black-eyed. I mean,
Yeah, he looked pretty
he
bad.
looked horrible. But anyway, my oldest son, every time he comes by here and sees that bicycle, it don't matter who's here, his wife or anybody, he's got to tell the story about that hard rubber bicycle, how stupid his dad was for buying him a bicycle with hard rubber tires.
I thought we were smart.
And the rest of these bicycles,
Yeah.
I went to auction one time, bought a truckload of old bicycles for $2, brought them in. And my daughter-in-law, she's in World War II reenacting. She got one of them that she said was vintage for World War II, and they fixed it up and restored it and put balloon tires on it and painted it and all that. And she took that, so it was worth that. I'd give her that old bicycle. But she took parts of 2 or 3 bikes and she built her and my oldest boy, they built her a World War II bicycle. Well, then my grandkids I got now, these little ones, they would drag these bicycles right out here in my way. I'd come driving up and I'd have to move bicycles. And finally I got tired of it and I went over and started grabbing them bicycles and tying them to the fence. And that one, he got pretty upset with me.
Yeah,
Tying them
Grayson.
bicycles up fence. I told him, now, Grayson, you're way too little to ride them bicycles or do anything with them. But if you ever get big enough that you want to work on them bicycles and ride them, your grandpa will help you get them down and we'll fix you a bicycle. So then after that, they're just tied on there with them nylon hay
Yeah,
strings.
hay strings. Yep.
So then after that, he helped me gang up and wheel bicycles around here, and he held the hay strings while I put them up on the fence. And then other people who've given me bicycles, and I bought a few at auctions. And the next thing I know, I got bicycles, about 40 or 50 bicycles on the fence. And I was at auction down the road here. I bought 2 bicycles for $5. And I was wheeling them to the truck, and this young girl, I don't know, 20, she was watching me with wheeling that bicycle up to my truck, one of them. She said, "Old man, you gonna ride that bicycle?" I said, "No, I'm just gonna fasten it to the fence." She said, "I know where you live." But here's a little tip. Lord, y'all may not know that. If you got a tar and you need to spread it out,
Yes.
this is no road grader tar.
Uh-huh.
You can get a bunch of these old screw jacks,
Uh-huh.
scissors jacks, and you can put them in there, and you can crank that out, widen that out where you can get in and work on that tar, clean the inside of it out and all that.
Uh-huh.
Them there, I just put a ratchet on them. Put a ratchet on them right there. Then a couple of them got a, that and there's got a big cotter pin stuck in it. But anyway,
Stretches it out where you can work on it. That's pretty cool.
I did sell one of them bicycles one time. There was a guy
I
come
know.
by there and said, "You ever sell any of them bicycles?" And I said to him, "I ain't never sold a bicycle in my life." He said, "Would you sell any of them bicycles?" I said, "Yeah, I'd sell them." I said, "I'd take $30 for any bicycle on the fence except for one." I said, "There's one I bought new for my boy. I don't want to sell it."
That's right.
But all the rest of them, if you was interested in them bicycles, I'd take $30 for any one of them. And he bought one of them down there, and he bought some other stuff from me. And he told me after he left that he was from Indiana, that all that stuff he bought, he goes to swap meets and flea markets. He just bought it to resell. But anyway, I don't care. I hope he makes a lot of money off of what he bought off me and comes back and gets more. And this right here is off a old military trailer. And it was flat, and I pulled this sucker on a flat on that military trailer all 100 miles, way down by Beebe, Arkansas. And the tar was already flat. There wasn't nothing in the trailer. And the rubber went to coming off. And that rubber would come off that trailer and go plumb over the top of the pickup truck we was driving and bounce on the highway in front of us. And there was some old boys past us, and they was yelling at us, and pointing, going on. We get on up there, at all these county lines. Right at the county lines, there's a watering hole, which is where you go from a dry county to a wet county. And they'd pulled in at that liquor store there, and they was back there putting their beer, ice and beer together. And we come by, and them chunks of rubbers, we was going about 60 mile an hour, and that chunks of rubber was flying over the top of that old truck and bouncing. Some of them hitting the truck. And they got a good hoorah out of that. They was pointing and laughing and carrying on. But it made it home. It's on 920. And I started to take it apart and put a different tire on it. And I had a 6-hole wheel off an old Ford truck, and I just stuck on it. Well, an old military trailer. And that boy of mine, he's in that military reenactment. He run the numbers on that trailer. And he said that trailer is a bomb trailer, and it was with Patton in Europe. Anyway, so being it's a military trailer, I give it to him. He can have that wheel too. He can spend the time beating on it rather than me. He knows how to break down tires, and I give him tar spoons and tar hammers and enough stuff to do that kind of stuff anyway. So I don't got to do it for him. So I'm not gonna mess with that old tire. So we'll leave you with all that. It's supposed to be hot. This is the last cool day. It's supposed to be hot from now on. I was going to put the oil pan on that International Metro up there. And got my brand new tube of silicone and took it out of the package. And it's hard. There ain't no soft silicone. It's all set up. It's just one big orangey red piece of rubber there. I peeled the aluminum foil off of it. I was going to show it on video, but my grandkids had done grabbed it and carried it off from where I laid it down.
Yeah,
and
that's because it was cool.
I ain't located. Hard to tell them what they was going to do with it. But anyway, them little urchins, that's just what they do. That's their lot in life, to move Grandpa's stuff around and aggravate it. Keeps me young, I guess. I don't care. I don't mind it one bit. So we'll just say goodbye and good luck to y'all, and y'all have a good one.
Yeah, thank you, and like and subscribe, please. Bye.